words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be always pleasing in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Please take a seat. So, most nights, Skittles and I go for a walk. You've met Skittles, our little puppy? Yeah, well. Anyway, so we've got this walking track, and we walk past the church, and then we walk down. And you know where the memorial area is there to the Rats of Tobruk. Anyway, there are some plovers that have made an interesting lifestyle choice, because they put a nest on one of the little traffic islands around that area. And part of me thinks that's brilliant, because there's no cats or dogs that are going to get there really easily. Another part of me thinks there's cars all over the place. And anyway, I walk the dog past, and we walk on the other side of the traffic island, and one of the plovers is over there, and it's sort of, pretending to be injured. Look at me, I've got a broken wing. Come, you ignore the chicks. I'd make a much better meal. Follow me, I've got a broken wing. And the dog goes, I reckon we can take it. No, we're on a walk. And we keep walking. Remember the story about the plover. It'll become important. Now, are you familiar with TED Talks? They're these relatively short talks people give. And I remember watching one about a person who was talking about this. Just this little, that people do. They just, they tighten themselves up. Anyone starting to feel a little awkward? Anybody want to straighten themselves up? See, what it is we keep an eye on people around us, and we want to make sure that we look appropriate. Because in human beings, there are many conflicting urges. There are many different things that drive us. And one of those things is about how other people view us. You see, we want to be heard. We want to be understood. We want to be valued and respected. So we want eyes on us. And we want a positive gaze to be turned upon us. Some people like to be at the front. And some people feel really awkward being out front. And they want to hide. They want to blend into the background. They want somebody else to take the leadership role. They want somebody else to take the responsibility. Now, those two things can actually be both good and bad. It's important that we understand how we present ourselves to people, and that we do so in a way that is appropriate. And we don't look like slobs, as if we don't care about other people's opinions. But it's also important that we recognize our role in society, and it's not all about us. And both of those can also have a bit of a dark side as well. So the plover makes sure that you keep an eye on it, so it can lead you away from its nest. The plover one keeps your attention out of love for the chicks. And John reminds me of the plover. See, John has gone out and he's had all eyes on John. Eyes on me, people. Eyes on me. Thank you. Look at me. I'm wandering around in the desert wearing camel skin, and I'm preaching, and clearly I'm annoying people, because that's how he ended up in prison and later executed. He's been the focus of much attention. But he hasn't been calling attention to himself because he wants to feel good about people's gaze. He's been calling attention to himself because he wants to direct their gaze to God. And now he's in prison. And he hears about the work that Jesus is doing, and he asks a question which I think is a very legitimate one. Tell me it's been worth it. So he sends his disciples out to go and observe Jesus and come back and report what they see and hear, and Jesus tells them the same thing. And they go out and they see him. And they come back to John. Now Jesus has already directed them back to the text in Isaiah. Go back and tell John what you've seen. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, leprosy are cleansed. And I have this mental image of John's in prison and his disciples come to him and go, it was awesome. It was amazing. We got there and Jesus was there. And we went to see, and there was this blind guy, and Jesus spat in the dirt, which was kind of weird, and he made some mud, and he wiped it on his eyes, and he could see. And John went, you went to see, and the blind man said, that's good. That's good. It's nice. Oh. And then there was this guy, and he couldn't walk. He was lame. And Jesus went up to him, and he reached out his hand, and he lifted him up, and he could walk. It was amazing. And John goes, you could have followed him. You were walking, and he helped. That's nice. And then inside, John is just a little bit sad, because he still wants to know the question, has it been worth it? Those who were lepers were cleansed. They've been introduced back into society. And John goes, that's great. And his heart is breaking inside. And the deaf hear, and John's heart is slowly tearing apart. Like, what did they hear? The dead, they're raised to new life. And John feels as if he's dying inside. And then one of his disciples goes, and Jesus kept on, banging on about good news being proclaimed to the poor. And John knows it was worth it. At that moment, John knows it was worth it. All this that he did, directing people's attention to God, because John knows that society has ostracized these people, thrown them out, told them God doesn't care about you. And John said, keep an eye on Jesus. It's going to be interesting. Trust me on this one. And Jesus says, God cares about you. Now, we often have this picture of prophecy, of prophets as people who do wonderful things, tell wonderful stories, tell us what's going to happen. And that's mostly wrong. A little bit right, but mostly wrong. Because a prophet is someone who speaks the words of God. And when we're not paying attention, they might do some sparkly stuff. Some pay attention things. These are the signs that Jesus is performing. These are the signs that Isaiah is giving people a heads up about that we read in the Old Testament. But the message is what matters. The signs are like have you ever had a signet ring or received like really official mail and it's got the wax seal and it's got the seal in it? Those are pretty cool letters, aren't they? And they're always nice letters. That's what the miracles are. They're the signet ring that says the message matters. And that's the message that Jesus is proclaiming. So John, for us, as a model, is a really powerful image because it says to us, there are times when we need to gather our courage and step into the spotlight to have people's attention on us. Not so that we can feel affirmed by their gaze, but so that we can direct their attention to God. And the message of God is one that is profoundly important to us because it is a reminder that we are loved. That even though society might want to say some people are not worthy of love, God says, I love you. Even though society might want to give up on some people because they're poor or whatever, God says, I love you. That's the message that matters. John's life points us to the messenger, and we give thanks for that. And the message that matters is that all are loved by God. In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, Amen.